interesting how not too many people discuss the thematic elements within Sly Cooper. In fact, too many people view Sly Cooper as that one platformer with minor stealth elements and nothing else. However, Sly Cooper was so much more, especially in the story department. Why do I go into such depths? Sometimes I feel as if video game stories are not given the amount of appreciation they deserve. For the most part, the gameplay is central. When the gameplay is good but the story doesn't hold up, the game usually tends to be seen in a positive reception. However, if only the story holds up but not the gameplay, it seems to not be seen in at least as positively of a light. Understanding the story of Sly Cooper not only provides greater appreciation for the character of Sly, but also much more appreciation for the games themselves. In terms of the gameplay, Sly Cooper was decent. It had a lot of good combination of platforming and stealth, however not everything was executed very well. The narrative structure is where Sly Cooper particularly shines, and not many people recognize it. It is what makes Sly Cooper a true PlayStation classic instead of just another action stealth platformer. So let's start from the beginning. The opening to the Thieves Raccoonist mostly centers on explaining the main protagonist to us. Sly has grown up with an heirloom of masterclass thieves, and he was the next in line to inherit the Thieves Raccoonist. However, just before he could get the passage of power, the Fiendish Five break into his house and steal the Thieves Raccoonist. Here we get a very good look at the trauma of Sly. The inheritance he was about to gain was stolen from him, and instead he ends up living in an orphanage. Despite the fact that he befriends Bentley and Murray, he has a sense of anxiety with him to live up to his family name. As he states in the intro,
"On this mission, I would either become a master thief like my ancestors before me, or fail and allow my family name to bite the dust."
The tragedy disrupts his gaining of the inheritance. This leads Sly to become a much cockier and brash character. He looks down on Bentley and Murray.
"Sorry, I'm a little nervous. Trying to break into police headquarters does that."
"Get over it, Bentley. You're safe in the van. I'm the thief here. I've got to steal that file from Inspector Carmelita Fox." "Murray, part-time driver and full-time burden."
To do that without getting electrocuted, you'd have to destroy that power generator. And to do that, you'd need 2 more of Raleigh's treasure keys, which are heavily guarded.
Interesting. So when are you gonna get to the impossible part?
Fine, but I warned you.
It isn't until the end he realizes their full potential. His goal is to restore his legacy and be everything his father wanted him to be, if not more. Carmelita Fox, the cop he has a love-hate relationship, only serves as a mere distraction and someone that gives more flavor to the otherwise dark journey he is taking. He only shows a certain degree of empathy for others, and maybe this was Sucker Punch's way of making him cool and calculating. However, his character evolves with Sly too. The cockiness and stalwart behavior he displayed in the first game starts to reveal some vulnerabilities. Neela takes advantage of Sly. It is kind of subtly hinted that Sly wants to be with Neela.
I certainly don't. Look, Neela, as soon as this India job is over, why don't you and I go out on the town? We'll dance through Bollywood and eat curry all night long.
I'll keep it in mind.
Maybe there is a void with him that needs to be filled. Neela takes advantage of that and captures him, Murray, and Carmelita. It isn't until Bentley, the weakest in the Cooper gang, needs to step in and save them. Sly acknowledges this and states he owes him one. When they are done with the rescue, they spend quality time. And this isn't just another mini vacation. They actually spend quality time as if this is the first time they're able to do so in a while. This leads to some character development on Sly's part because he is truly recognizing his friends for doing something good. For once, he isn't too focused on pulling off the next heist. And it's something he repays in the ending of the game. Recognizing that their gang didn't have what it took to run away at the time, Sly turns himself in. There are only so many getaways he could make. but not before Carmelita smashes the hate chip, ending the clockwork affair once and for all. In one sense, this shows how Sly and Carmelita can find common ground despite their differences. They do have the potential to work together. Despite their professional differences, Sly does what is counterintuitive to him. He turns himself in as a way to repay Carmelita Fox. He does what is unexpected and non-traditional to a thief. But if he had never done that, he would never have been able to relate to Carmelita in the way that he did in their first date on the helicopter. You start to see the character of Sly begin to evolve. Even though he still has the stalwart personality in defending his family name, he realizes he can't do it without the people around him. Also, it is here that the Cooper gang begins to lose their touch. Heists don't go as according to plan, almost to reflect on how Sly was forced to break traditions in order to protect his family line. Not running from Carmelita, letting his friends walk instead of run like a usual thief. It is because of these instances that Sly is able to gain more insight he wouldn't have gained before. He would never have known the potential personal relationship he could have with Carmelita, and he would never have seen the full potential of Bentley and Murray. Sly 3 may seem like another Sly Cooper adventure, but it brings Sly's arc into full circle. Villains embody a sense of ego as their prime goals. General Sao puts the honor of his family first and foremost. Octavia wants to return music back to his form of style. All these motives behind a tradition, a clinging to the past, and Sly also wants to cling to the past. Yet, in the end, he does the extraordinary and gives away the value of his family treasure to his newly formed gang, who he admits are a band of misfits, in order that he may pursue a better life with Carmelita. He essentially does not let his family status define him, and by separating himself from it, he not only becomes a happier person, but also a humbler one. While Dr. M had always felt Connor Cooper put him second, Sly doesn't make that mistake. He gave his friends the credit they deserve because he realized following in the footsteps of his ancestors wasn't worth it. He leaves to pave his own life. The hero's journey and the theme of friends we made along the way is a generic one. Nate Fox weaved it all together in a way that evolved Sly's character. He went from someone that so desired to please his family name and live up to being a Cooper, to someone that realized not everything was as cut and dry as it seemed, to someone that finally realized the full value beyond following the traditions of his family. It's something that not too many people talk about, but it makes Sly Cooper a unique character among the PS2 Sony platformers.
That sneaky devil.